Redo the intro. Welcome to the King Beta 13 Grand Finals. Got Colossus Dragon up versus Ake here in a vet mirror. Game one of a best of seven with the winner of the losers bracket starting down a game. So right now the score is 0-1 in Ake's favor, given the starting down a game. Let's see how this goes. With me is the scientist, and I'm Akratar.
Yep. Thanks for having me again, Akratar. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you've been great. A lot of help.
Very good. Okay.
So, we got the 3 minion turn 1 out of Ake. So
yeah, he's probably a little disappointed that the
Dream Gazer spawned in a line behind him. So it's
Yep.
gonna be a little unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just gonna see a third wish to take out that nice line of minions that Ake can
Yeah.
help because of that.
A little
spawn.
too juicy to pass up, right? Usually you don't
Man.
really want to
He
be.
even won the 50-50 afterwards.
Yeah. Oh man. I think that's reasonable to save the siphon there, not to worry about the mini jacks too much. Yeah. Little too juicy to pass up right at the beginning. Typically, you don't want to be using an early third wish because of the tempo loss to siphon energy, or the potential of getting counter third wish if the opponent has a minion on board. But here was just, it didn't seem like he had many other plays anyway, so just went with it and not at all punished. In fact, Aki had to use a large number of resources with the Rasha's Curse first wish.
Yeah. And as we saw when we were watching the stream for a little bit, Rasha's first wish is how he's going to clear this.
Yep.
No siphon in hand, not that it was that punishing, even if it got silenced. So, game's looking good for Kolos.
Mm-hmm. Most certainly. Yep, has mana tiles to play with here. He's gonna certainly get this one and potentially get the other one if Aki has to keep his general in a nearby area. He has another third wish in hand. He has the Twilight Sorcerer, so if he wants to get back another third wish, he can guarantee to do so on the next turn.
And he's just chunking Ake down so much with the second, third wish attack. He's already down to 11. It's just...
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to come back.
And he's only helping him a little further there, right? Well,
Dream Gazer's just further lowering his HP, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe he needs to get that minion to stick, but with it being in the general range, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, is he going to Zenrui this?
He doesn't have the mana to do so.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't.
But this is actually a very important thing I found when testing this matchup is that you don't want to actually do Blind Scorch Zenrui. That's too weak of a play. But Blind Scorch is actually really strong when you're constantly trading minions all the time.
Just
so
on
you
its
can
own?
basically, it's actually strongest on its own. I don't want to use it with Zenrui, right? Because imagine you have like Dancing Blades facing off against each other, right? You could third wish, but then that's, probably most of your turn, and then you only have 3 more mana to play with, likely. And then it just gets siphoned for 0, and you've done nothing. But if you just use a Blind Scorch for 1 mana, you still maintain that 4/6 body, and with your general attack, you can clear while taking no damage, right? And then you still have your 5 or 6 mana to play with, and then you can snowball from there. So Blind Scorch is, it's basically like it's almost a strictly worse dampening wave, the way that
that's exactly what I was thinking of, but
the way it gets used in these matchups, it's actually really, really useful.
well, that is interesting to hear. Yeah, I wouldn't think you want to run the whole Blind Scourge Zenrui combo. Just kind of too slow and nothing big enough to steal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stuff you do steal would be down to 0 attack per turn. Just wouldn't really work out in this. And
I agree. It does end up being just a little bit too slow. when you use it with the Zenrui, but for strictly trading purposes, I found it to be very, very useful. Yep, and if nothing else, it can mitigate damage. It can leave more bodies on the board for Star's Fury. If you're setting up blast turns, like, sometimes they have too many minions and they just end up get caught in the crossfire. So if you think about it as like a one mana save lots of damage, then you're actually doing okay in a lot of ways. Yeah, so Aki's running the healing too, which is obviously making a big difference considering how low he was. Yeah, Kolos has been known to run Zenrui, but not in this Mana Forger list. So he still has that third wish that he got back from the Twilight Sorcerer, and he could guarantee getting back even another one if he wants. But pushing damage could get a little risky here. He has to be slightly concerned about his life total as well.
What is going on with these lighting up? All these different squares lighting up.
Yeah. I guess it's noting. Well, I think it notes your interactions as well.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep all the stats showing.
Yeah. Oh no, that's good. I think that's definitely useful. Mm-hmm. But I think it remembers all the opponents, or all the
opponents like mouses overs.
Yeah, correct. Which is actually useful because you can sort of see what they're targeting, what they're thinking about. So right now, Kolos is probably thinking, do I push the 6 face damage here, or do I remove this 4/4? Like, what's the real risk? Because he's doing pretty well on board. Eventually, because he is going first, he can't infinitely trade though.
He does take out the 4/4. You could have knocked Maki down to 5, but I mean, I think you might as well play it safe and take out the clear Maki's board.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's that strong.
It seems reasonable. I'm wondering why that Mana Forger was placed so aggressively.
Yeah, me too. Really, that one damage on him is that valuable?
Yeah. Okay, so Siphon is definitely necessary to getting back in this game. Maybe he's looking to prevent Dancing Blades combinations to remove the 2/3. He would have to have 2-drop into Dancing Blades to remove it.
Well, that's one way to come back.
Yeah. Yep, it is really the only catch-up card in the matchup, and he's positioned it in such a way that it's not going to be vulnerable to Dancing Blades, which is probably a good
positioning.
Yeah, a good thought here, because if the opponent has Saberspine Tiger and Third Wish, you're probably already dead anyway, right? So you might as well not give your opponent other outs to come back into the game. I think that was a very thoughtful play.
So you can Lore Master to copy that Third Wish and Third Wish your mini jacks right there. Which is probably the play. Like, that's definitely really good here.
Mm-hmm.
Even first wish on top of it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he goes with the first wish first. Was that possibly a misplay if he wanted to?
That seems like a misplay. I think you definitely wanted to copy that Third Wish. So you could,
right. I think that would have been pretty strong.
Yeah, then you'd have a 5 attack blast. Aki would be down to 5. Melee attack 2 would be down to 3, and his board's gone. And
now you have to use the Saberspine Tiger. I guess you can still.
He's doing the first wish, Lore Master first wish, which is just.
Okay, that's still reasonable. It still removes it, right?
It's still not. He's still not losing, but he missed out on a much better play there, I think. Like the difference is Ake would have 5 less HP, and
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, only cycled through one less card. I don't know if we consider that. Maybe he prioritizes that, but I think I would have preferred to have dealt a lot more damage.
and that mini Jax would be a 5/5 blast, not a 3/3 range.
Yeah, certainly.
So
Certainly changes us a lot. Still haven't seen any Stars Fury, which a little bit too risky to play there, but during this game would have been really useful a number of times. And Aki's managed to survive until turn 9, it looks. So he's going to be the first to hit Maelstroms, and if he can chain them together, could be risky for Kolos. And if not, Kolos we see is sitting with 2 Maelstroms in hand and out-of-hand damage, so we can pretty much guarantee that if Aki doesn't put it together following his next turn, then Kolos is going to be able to deal enough damage.
yeah, so since next turn is Maelstrom turn, you definitely have to clear the Rejuvenator.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's their third wish. Got it back at the Sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it gets retaliated by the Rejuvenator, I think you still play it.
Oh, I don't think you care. I think you have to prioritize the damage here. Right? Because if it's already getting siphoned on 3 cards, like, are you really worried about that many things?
Yeah, but he didn't go for the damage. He just went for buffing the Dreamgazer. And there are more targets that need to be silenced this way, but you're losing out on face damage, on 6 face damage. Like Ake would be down at 2 HP.
Mm-hmm. Well, no time Maelstrom from Aki. That looks quite promising for Kolos.
Yeah, I think Kolos still has this game either way if that last play. I mean, the real biggie with him was not copying the third wish at the earlier play. He would have, that could have maybe made the difference, but it didn't end up making the difference. So Kolos will be winning the first game of that match, and that makes up for his starting disadvantage. So we'll bring the score to a 1-1.
Yep. And I'm just rechecking the rules real quick, but I believe the finals is best of 7, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So winner still needs to take 3 more games.
And we do have the next game right away between them to go to. I'm just hiding it because I don't want to spoil. On the replay screen, you can already see who won and lost. The games. Yep. So going to game 2 of the grand finals.
Kolos with a really strong-looking opening hand right there. With the Dreamgazer into Mana Forger. He's going to be looking for early first wishes to cycle. I haven't seen any second wishes, which is certainly a consideration in decks that run lots of Mana Forgers. And that Dreamgazer positioning was actually really, really useful for him because he can walk onto another Mana Tile and actually access 5 this turn.
Yeah, all the vets versus vets. That's just how many of the past matches have been vet versus vet? Like the past.
Oh, too many
like
to count.
4.
Yeah, too many to count, unfortunately. Okay. So plays the Healing Mystic a little more defensively here.
Oh, you can get off a pretty good Primus Fist on 3 minions.
Yeah, you probably don't really want the... Does he get the 50-50? No, he does not.
Loses the 50-50.
Yeah, you don't really want the Mana Forger to be engaged in battle, right? And just developing board here seems totally reasonable.
It wasn't the most powerful use of Dancing Blade, but still, it was mainly just to get the 4/6 out, not to deal the 3 damage there.
Yeah, 4/6 body that early is definitely very, very powerful.
You're not leaving any mana springs open for Aki to use next turn either.
Certainly. Well, we'll see what he prioritizes removing here. Looks like the Mana Forger, which I don't think is unreasonable, since the deck oftentimes relies on getting value from the cycle cards. Oh, and we see the Blind Scorch.
Blind Scorch's coming in hand, just like you were talking about. Just lets you
Yeah, right. I mean, it basically is a 1 mana preserve your 3/3 and deal 3 damage to a 4/6. So.
And kind of stall it for a turn from being able to do anything.
Yeah, it's certainly most useful when used for trading.
So a 1 mana gain a 3/3 is kind of good, if you want to look at it in that light.
I'd say so. Oh, and the Inner Oasis, yeah.
Inner Oasis is going to make it. Returns it right to 6 HP.
Yep. Yep, and probably wants to siphon that 2/1.
You can kind of immediately see why Inner Oasis is pretty good in the vet mirror. If you can't take out those minions that have just been buffed up from Inner Oasis, then they're going to get Third Wish, and it's going to be bad news for you.
Okay.
Silence to remove the Inner Oasis buff, drops him back to 3 HP for his own Dancing Blades to take it out.
Yeah, that really doesn't feel like a very useful use of
Siphon Energy?
Of Siphon Energy there. So, you can see why it's such good bait and so useful in this matchup. And now the Mana Forger survives without getting siphoned, so he's gonna get probably significant value from this over time. He can immediately generate some Third Wish value if he wants, and it doesn't seem like he has many other plays, so we'll have to see what he decides.
The 0 mana deal 3 damage sounds good, but in this matchup where Silence is so critical, it was actually a pretty weak use of Siphon Energy. But he did have to use it that way if that was his only play there.
Yeah, understandable, certainly. Yep, and we see 2 Jaxes in Kolos's hand. Probably it will be very strong when one comes out here. Yeah, but he will have to be a little bit concerned about his life pool, depending on what minions are left on board. Another Dancing Blades would be awfully strong, and would actually probably make well, he's deciding to heal this up as well. Okay, so in that case he might be all right. So a siphon would absolutely be necessary for Aki to have an answer here.
He actually healed face with the Rejuvenator.
Oh, did he? Okay.
It kind of looked like he was healing the Dream Gazer, but he switched to face.
So it looks like he's digging. Yeah, Aki just seems to be getting out-resourced all these times. Always sort of at a card disadvantage, not having as many options as he'd like. And I guess that shows the power of Inner Oasis, that you can get, immediate value, you can bait Siphon Energies, and you cycle a card and keep replenishing your hand, which gives you options and gives your opponent too many things to deal with. Oh, bless you.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think this game's a good demonstration of its value.
You might have to face tank another 6 here.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna have to. Which really hurts.
Ooh, going down to 9. Yeah.
Please, imagine if you didn't have that rejuvenated, it'd be going down to 5.
Yep. Well, I don't think there are many options here besides playing the jacks.
Yeah. What else is Lore Master? That's so
Yeah,
much
and
weaker.
you can feel pretty comfortable if you want to clear off this 3-2, still being at 14 health. The question is, do you really, you probably want to be a little bit careful with your positioning, such that Star's Fury, Primus Fist won't kill you. So yeah, moving forward is probably the best option. And he's used the siphon.
A siphon just to save 1 HP.
Yeah. Well, he's so far ahead. I think it might be justified in this case. And now he's really out of range of any Star's Fury stuff. So I think
just
he's
want to make sure to. I think you want to make sure to line up the Mana Forger to play around Star's Fury more.
Mm-hmm.
If you just moved it up 1, that takes away 1 Dur spawn from the Star's Fury. So now
Yeah.
Star's Fury is like how Ake comes back.
Right. Because you're not even worried about lining up, say, the Mana Forger and the. Well, he would. Okay, so let's see. He would need.
He would need 6 more damage, which
Yeah, I don't
isn't
think
really possible.
Yeah.
For 4 mana.
I'm not sure what his follow-up plan is here. Concede, maybe. Healing Mystic. I guess he's not dead. He's not dead to board. Rash's Curse. Okay. Still with 4 mana left, right?
2 mana left now, which is
Or 2 mana.
isn't enough.
Yeah.
Another Rashes. So he had a lot of damage here, but there wasn't really any way for him to get enough damage with only 7 mana. And so, is that lethal for Kolos the Dragon?
It's 3-4 on board. He can.
You can copy the Rashes.
Yep. So that'll be lethal. He's he's 1 over. Yep. Kolos has got it.
Oh wait, can you play all of that? Do you have the mana?
Oh, I'm sorry. He's not on 8. I apologize. Yeah, he's not.
Oh wait,
on
but
8.
you have the Mana Forger, so you can.
Oh, you're right. Oh man, so tricky.
Yeah,
Such tricky plays.
that is
Alright.
a tricky play. Okay,
Good.
so you can
Point.
Tiger, Lore Master, and because of the Mana Forger making the Rasha that you're going to get cost 1 instead of 2, you can play all that for 7 mana and finish him off here.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if Kolos sees it.
Yeah, that's a big question if he sees it. I don't think... Well, you might be tricked out by the not having enough mana.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he didn't see it.
Well,
Okay, but luckily for him, I think Primus Fist gives him lethal.
it doesn't matter.
But he could have just lost this game.
Yep.
Primus Fist gives him lethal for sure, though, so...
Yep, 100%. So, very
But,
comfortable.
man... This is what I'm talking about, like, there's no one who plays this game perfectly right now. There really isn't.
No, absolutely not. It's the skill cap is so high.
Second game in a row going to Kolos the Dragon, putting him in the lead now.
Mm-hmm. So Kolos has gotten to go first both of these games, which I think he probably finds a more comfortable thing for him. We'll see if Aki makes any changes now, and if maybe the positioning switches might be relevant for how these decks perform.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to go to Aki's perspective? Because we can just switch it up.
I would like to see his deck for sure.
Alright, going to the third game between Ake and Kolos the Dragon. Okay, it's kind of confusing because he played him earlier too.
Yeah. The one at the very top should be the most recently played, right?
Yeah. Okay. Things are right. I've got things under control. Just got because he has not just this most recent match in his match history of Kolos. All right, going into the third game of the finals of the grand finals between Ake and Kolos the Dragon. Switching up here to Ake's perspective.
This time Aki going first. Looks to have a strong start going from the Dream Gazer, which positions itself aggressively into the Primus Fist.
No, it's just a single best of 7, guys. So Kolos the Dragon needs to win 2 more, and it's and he'll be the new champion. Whereas Ake still needs to win 3 more.
Dream Gazer, very popular card these days.
Just a little.
Yeah. Okay, aggressive Saber Spine Tiger there to remove a minion. Certainly seems reasonable going second to do everything you can to just kind of hit a reset and then be able to use your mana advantage over time.
We get mousing over. You guys can see the stats.
So we're not seeing cards like Spellbinder or some of these other cards that we've seen in some of the other Vitruvian mirrors at this point.
Oh yeah, our players switch sides. They have to switch the score around. Because the players switched which side they were on. Sorry for that confusion. But okay, back in the game.
Okay. So choosing not to use all the mana, which he possibly could have done, and has chosen to allow Kolos to use one of the mana tiles, which he immediately makes use of. And now the Mana Forger is again positioned very defensively. Not a lot of good Third Wish options at the moment.
You can't actually reach that top row with either of your minions for a good Third Wish.
Yep.
I wonder if...
Simply a Saber Spine to remove the Mana Forger seems like a very reasonable trade, though.
Yeah.
Just clear everything off, get the Mystic involved. You'll be left with a 3/2, a 2/3, and a 3/1 on board. Oh, he goes for the Stars Fury play. Okay.
I can also see the Stars Fury. It just lets you do a complete clear of the board, even if you're not developing as much of your own. But you've still got it. The nice thing with Stars Fury is that it saves Pun Cat for a Laser Cat next turn at 6 mana with the Third Wish.
For sure. Yep. So very juicy Dancing Blades play for Kolos potentially on this coming turn. With the 2/3. Okay, so he does choose to deal some damage and get value out of it, and to mitigate Kolos' best possible play on this coming turn. Seems unlikely that he's going to have it now based off of his positioning. Yeah, because he wouldn't walk himself into a Third Wish like that. So Healing Mystic into Mana Forger.
What is this? He's lining up for Third Wish. What?
The only punish here would be
okay.
Rasha's into Third Wish.
Okay, I see. Aki's still 1 mana short of Saber Spine Cat, Third Wish.
Yep. So it looks like he goes with this play. Try to go for a little bit of damage here.
A little bit, a lot of damage.
Yeah. Well, knowing that Kolos has been playing a little bit defensively this whole time, positioning his minions out of the battle, and just trying to give Kolos too many threats to answer at the moment. Seems like it might be a little bit short at the moment. He does have the 3 out-of-hand damage, but it's tough to see what the follow-up is going to be after that. Although Kolos hasn't been running Rejuvenator, so it might be enough. Drawing into another third wish is going to be really important for Aki to try and finish this game. And he doesn't have the cycle cards that Kolos has, so it's a little bit less consistent. Oh, a Star's Fury is going to be massively important for him.
Yeah, the Star's Fury will help with finishing damage a lot.
Mm-hmm. Because you can expect that Kolos isn't going to keep his minions lined up like they are at the moment for any longer, knowing that Saberspine Tiger Third Wish is a possibility.
Yeah, he could afford to since Ake was only at 5 mana, which I thought he was going to be at 6 for some reason, but my bad. But now you really can't afford to line up anymore in case your opponent has Saberspine Cat into Third Wish, so...
Yep, so Kolo's looking for answers here, trying to figure out how to deal with the 6-5. Probably not at a point where he can start pressuring Aki's life without addressing the board. 17 health is a little bit too much, even with 6 power on board. So Kolos is still a little bit on the back foot here, but going second if he can stabilize a bit. So there's a third wish. That's massively helpful to him. Clears off the 6-5 while developing. Mana Forger can still get lots of value here. Oh my, okay.
Another third wish. Okay, double third wish, pretty strong.
Yep.
Like, damn, how do you even deal with that? Double Siphon, but he only has 1.
So Aki could do 6 points of damage here.
Okay, you can Star's Fury to... No. How do you...
Well, that's a losing play, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this was good positioning by Kolos to sort of take half measures against all the powerful plays that could happen at this point. A double Siphon would be probably enough to make Aki go aggressively here, or to make him go aggressive, but without another third wish, it's tough to see.
You're kind of screwed here.
Yeah, a little bit. That was such a powerful turn there to cycle and then play 2 third wishes.
And because of the Mana Forge, you could throw out a Primus Fist on top of it, because third wishes are only costing 2. I mean, you can melee to take out the last blast minion, but then you're going down to 5, and
I don't think that's good reasoning actually, because if you're going to be taking that damage next turn anyway, there's no reason to deal it now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're you basically guarantee that you're gonna take the 6 if you melee it now, whereas you're gonna be taking the 6 next turn anyway. So
yeah, I agree.
I
was just kind of talking through it.
Sure, of course.
But
yeah, no, I mean I think it's a play a lot of people would have made, or at least, and almost every player should consider, because you don't want to be getting that value over time, or you don't want to let it get value over time. But when
in this case, you can't help it, because it's almost a guaranteed loss if you take it out. So you have to let it get the value, and then hope to draw into another Siphon energy that you desperately need, or something of that sort.
Yeah, precisely. Oh, with those 2 minions on board.
Those 2 minions on board are actually kind of scary, because Phyllis only has 9 HP here.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say you
Ooh.
definitely can't go face here, right? That would be. And he's doing the right thing to try and play around Star's Fury.
Yeah. Once more, we've got this like mixed positioning.
Yep. Nope,
Star's
it's very.
Fury does let you take out the 6/6 blast, though. This might still be the play.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a kind of weak play, nonetheless. But you need something to take that out. So.
Question is, you're down to.
I mean, you could also just Saber Spine Tiger Blast. That's probably a lot stronger than Star's Fury.
Like, I would even consider Saber Spine Tiger face here, just siphon and like walk away, and just count on trying to get a Star's Fury Third Wish finish next turn. Kolos is down to 2 cards.
That's not that bad of an idea, because
Oh, I'm sorry. He can also Saber Spine Tiger now and deal this damage. That's also a very reasonable play. Puts him down to 3. I don't know why we didn't. Yeah, well, I guess he mulled into that, so we weren't thinking about it.
yeah.
So Kolos down to 2 cards, has 2 damage on board right there. That can actually reach him. 4 more if he has another Third Wish, so he could potentially do 7, 9. He would need to find 4 more damage from there with a single card. So he would need something like First Wish, Third Wish, Saber Spine Tiger.
So, big question here is, does he have an answer for the Tiger? Did he get a Siphon Energy off the Twilight Sorcerer?
A Siphon or a Third Wish would help answer this.
Looks like he got a third wish off it.
Yep.
Which not ideal, because that Third Wish Primus Fist actually won't really be able to do anything to Ake for a couple turns.
Well, Kolos is just dead here.
Oh yeah. Just Star's Fury, First Wish.
Yep. Again, seeing the power of Star's Fury, really an important card in this matchup.
Yeah, it really is just very useful for pushing damage on them.
Yep. Out of hand reach, it provides. Once you hit 8 mana, you can also use it with Third Wish to. Because it doesn't even feel bad using a Third Wish on a Dervish, because so often things get siphoned anywhere. You pretty much just get a one shot at getting value from them. So to use it in such a way that you maximize the value immediately is not necessarily bad. So Star's Fury into Third Wish is completely a reasonable play, specifically in the mirror match.
Yeah, tournament's going a little extra long. Sometimes it just happened, one match got behind and we were stuck with that. That's kind of what happens. It's like what I call the loser's gap. The gap in the losers, between the losers bracket and the winners bracket, that happens in Double LM. But we're still going strong. Thanks to everyone for sticking around here. And going into the 5th game of the Grand Finals, we're going to be sticking to Ake's perspective.
Yep. So going first, again, the person that went first won this game. So it seems to be the traditional thought has always been going second in the matchup is a little bit stronger, but it seems that with this little mini meta that these players have developed, going first seems to be quite useful.
Now I'm getting an error downloading the replay.
That means the game hasn't finished yet.
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, then. We'll be waiting for them to finish that game then. Looks like we caught up to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we even saw the Mana Forgers come out for Ake there, which even when you're not running things like Inner Oasis could be a very valuable card just to help you cycle through your deck as quickly as possible, because First Wish is obviously always an inclusion, and Twilight Sorcerer getting it back, you can oftentimes play, three plus, oftentimes 4 or 5 First Wishes, and that will help you. I mean, first of all, the
yeah,
1/1
just making
stat.
First Wish cost 0 is really nice. It's like
The 1/1
3+1.
stats are actually incredibly important early in the game because you don't want to be using something like Third Wish when you can just immediately get siphoned, and you want to be able to trade effectively with the board to try and get ahead and deal a little bit of damage at the same time. And that +1/+1 actually makes a really big difference because now your 2/3s trade with their 2/3s, and you get to move through your deck quickly. So an early First Wish, I think, is actually, like, I even consider keeping First Wish in my hand if I have a 2-drop, just because it's like so essential to getting a good trade early on.
Yeah, and First Wish is I find particularly useful on Jaxies and Dream Gazers. 'Cause pushing that 2/2 stat point up to 3/3 is really valuable +1/1 than most.
Definitely.
More than most.
Right, because now you're trading with the 2/3, and you're probably dealing 3 damage to the general, and it's a little tougher to and if it's a Jaxi, then you've another body that's going to be a little tougher to clean up because the general had to, one, stay more centrally and hit, and is now much further from any point where the mini Jax could have spawned.
And for all those people who don't like the draw rules, you want the tournament going even longer?
Yep.
Well, let me check on the match again, see if we can switch to it yet.
Yeah, I did that once when I was.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Is it?
No, it's not available yet.
Okay.
They're still playing it.
Yep. Figured as much. So this game's going a little longer than the other ones. All right, so we've got 2-2 now, I believe.
It's 2-2 right now. So they've actually only played 3 games though, right? Because
Yeah, that's correct.
How things work. Okay.
Yep. So now we have a little mini best of 3 to determine the champion.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yep.
Okay, their game is up. We'll be switching to it right here.
Mm-hmm.
The game 4 or 5, depending how you count it, of the grand finals. Oculus calls the Dragon.
Yep. Here we go. Okay. So we've got Aki going first again. Has a 2-drop. Sees a lot of the cards he wants to be seeing early. Certainly drawing really well here. Jaxi start, good for Kolos as well. Let's see if he has a 2-drop to follow up. He does. And it's, I think a lot of people know this, but you definitely want to be playing the Jaxi in the middle so that if you do get blasted, it's a little bit more difficult to clean up the mini Jax. Whereas if you just let a clean kill on the Primus, or any other 2-drop for that matter, because like you definitely want to be playing the Primus afterwards, right, to get the +1 buff. But if it's just another one that doesn't actually have an effect, you want to make it as difficult as possible to try and clean up the board. So, such is the justification there.
And this is a new game, right? I didn't replay a game we already saw.
Yep, this is a completely new game.
Okay.
Yep, and we're seeing the Mana
Right.
Forgers positioned aggressively by Aki as well. considering it enough value, considering it useful enough just to
Just use it to
be
grab
used
the
for
mana
a
spring.
1 mana. Yeah, exactly. Just to take that mana tile and then to be used just to get the -1 cost on the third wish. So Kolos has an early answer here. Is able to siphon away the third wish. And is running a little low on cards, but there you go. Uses an Alsuin to get it back. And seems to be in a good spot with that.
Yeah, Siphon Energy is always, you always want to draw as many third wishes and siphons as possible.
Yep, I think this is a good play by Aki here. You could see him, and then he's also going to drop the Mana Forger and use the Rash's Curse to remove the 3/1. And that should put him significantly ahead on board.
He never replaced, though.
He likes all these cards. I would maybe replace the Jaxi. You're probably going to start looking for... Okay, there he is.
Now.
Yeah.
Should have replaced early if you're going to. But, I mean, Jaxi isn't a bad card to keep, but...
Agreed. I think he's playing a little too much into Star's Fury here as well. I don't think it's necessary to position the minions...
Yeah, it isn't actually
around
necessary
Blast.
to play around Blast yet, since Kolos is only at the 5 mana
Yeah.
point. Like we've talked about, it's not enough for a Laser Cat.
Yep. So, like, the only thing that really swings the board state here is a Star's Fury, and he just gave him the best possible Star's Fury. And you're also playing into, in every situation, a Dancing Blades. Like, the 6 mana... Like, you don't need to play around Blast if the board is clear until 6 mana.
Looks like Kolos doesn't have it, though.
Oh, man.
Pretty
That's
weak
when Inner
turn.
Oasis doesn't look very good, right? When it's just
Yeah.
mana for +3. Yikes. Alright. So he's going to clean it up here pretty nicely with the Dancing Blades, I think. Yep, right there, and then use the...
Yeah, he tried to use his General to guard it, but it's not enough.
Not quite with the first wish for 0 mana. So you can already see the value of Mana Forgers, and I'm certainly coming around to seeing how valuable they are.
Yeah, they're definitely a card. You can't really judge at face value. You gotta really try them out and see how they do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, backs that away. So Aki in a strong position here. It seems like going first with a Mana Forger and getting some first wishes off is just such a powerful play in this matchup. Even though Kolos had a Siphon to get back some tempo from the first wish, it wasn't quite enough.
Oh, we see a Jaxel.
Yeah, unfortunately, that just feels like it's going to be too little, too late, right? Because his life pool. I mean, I think he's
low.
just
Is
dead
he
to
just
board,
dead?
right? Yeah, he's dead. He's dead immediately.
Yes, he is. Third Wish Russia General Attack is 11.
Yep. So this is why Jax can be really good in certain situations, but it is definitely a situational card, right? It's one of those things you can't just always be playing on curve.
It can't. It doesn't help you at all when you're behind like that.
Yep.
It's something that has to be played when you're even or better. So it is in a way a win more card, but
yeah, I found it to be really strong as player 1 on 8 mana. That is like situationally. That is situationally where I really want to be playing Jax. If you give me like any option of when to play it, I think that's the strongest.
So that brings the score 3-2 in Ake's favor, right?
Mm-hmm. The last one started 3 minutes ago, so I can reasonably expect it's not over.
Yeah. Okay, wait, no. Our next one that we're going to is over, because the one that started 3 minutes ago is the one they're playing after that. Which kind of gives away who wins here, but...
Shoot.
Staying with Ake for this one, then we'll perhaps switch back to Kolos. Yeah, but this is going to be a tight grand finals, which is always good to see.
Yep. Okay. So Aki's drawing a lot of third wishes early, which, again, seems really good, but is actually a little bit of a problem sometimes.
Franker Z in the background.
Yeah, I gotta take my dog out again. He's
I can understand those problems.
Yeah. Oh, Kaiser, come here. Come here. Alright, you gotta stay. Sit. Sit.
But I don't think we're gonna see an actually unexciting start here without third wish. No, he does third wish. Even though you're just activating the Jaxi by killing it, it's still 5 face damage, and I guess you didn't have much else better to do.
Nope. It's begging to be counter third wish though.
That is the thing. The third wish and the Jaxi, you will lose quite a bit of tempo if that can get siphon energied here.
Yeah, doesn't even need to though. Can honestly just use the face damage, like if he really wanted to. It looks like he's not going to. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he really wants to or not, but it is an option. Going down to 15 could be a little bit risky. But it looks like on 2 mana with the Mana Forger he can third wish here, if he has it. It looks like he was certainly thinking about it. And replaces into a Dream Gazer. Oh, and then uses a Siphon. That's certainly a much better answer than, giving an opportunity to get another third, to get counter, or to just lose all your tempo to another Siphon. So this I think is a lot stronger when you actually get the board developed.
So he did a decent job playing on Star's Fury, and we are seeing both these players have realized that before 6 you should be playing on Stars, not around Blast, and it's been helping them out a lot in the matchups.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kolos is down to 16 here. It's not even that ridiculous to just think about pushing 6 more face damage here. With the Star's Fury, knowing that you have the Saberspine Tiger and Primus in hand, you can already. Oh, and now with the third wish, I would seriously be considering dealing the damage here. Chooses to siphon the Mana Forger. Not unreasonable.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. If you're siphoning it, I don't know why you're really taking it out. You don't care about the 1/2 body, because if you're not clearing the whole board, then like what's the point? Because you're still leaving third wish targets and so forth. I don't know. I think just this gives, like, now he can walk up onto the tile. He could just play a Jack's True Sight on curve and not really feel like he's being pressured at all.
Yeah, that'd be pretty devastating. That'd be the ideal play by Kolos here, and he has
Yeah,
it.
there it is. Yep. Right. So I think if you Star's Fury and push damage that turn, I don't think you can comfortably play Jack's True Sight here. Right, when you're sitting on 8 life, you're not really speeding up the clock that much, right? And you know that out of hand damage is a very real thing in this matchup.
I mean, AK is only at 5 mana though, so it'd be kind of hard to deal that.
No, certainly, but okay, well, but then there are so many ways to find more damage, right? So like,
Yeah,
the
you
more
are
Star's Fury, he has the Rasha's Curse. Like Rasha's Curse into third wish is still a thing. Like I don't see how if you're just falling behind on board and leaving.
And the Jax doesn't immediately win you the game either.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that like you really have to have it over multiple turns to justify its usage over other 6 mana cards, or even like a Dancing Blades, which can immediately clear and get you 4 power with a body. Like you really need Jax to be effective for at least 2 turns.
Yeah, if you're not a faction like Vinar with Razorback buff them up, it's more of a long-term play than a short-term.
Yeah.
Sorcery, though, is going to be pretty nice here for clearing most of the Jacks. Well, you could clear all of the Jacks, actually.
Yeah, at that point, I think you just have to clear all the Jacks, right? You need a little bit of a reset, like deal with the 4/6 later, I suppose.
Yeah, you can't deal with it now.
Yeah, because you're not putting him on a clock, right? It's not enough to just deal 4 damage this turn, because his life is just a little too high. Like you've sort of limited your options of going face or trading because of his life total. You're pretty much forced to trade at this point. So.
A lot of damage in hand, though.
Yep, certainly. I mean, this is why I think he would have been much more justified in dealing that damage and putting Kolos on a clock.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep. Still has a lot of damage in hand. Still far from over though. You can count 6 with the Saber Spine Tigers, another 2, another 3, and then we'll count the Primus as 1 each. You can consistently say, so that's 3, 3, 2, 3. That's 11 plus, so 13 possibly in hand over the course of reasonably 2 turns. So when you think about that, I think it's just going to be a matter of finding a way to put all the damage together in an efficient way.
Yeah, but the real question is if he'll be able to afford to dish out that damage, or if he'll have to resort to clearing board to try to survive himself. He is getting pretty low here.
Yeah, having that third wish to put him on a clock here.
The Siphon on the Mana Forger too is going to make it harder to play those cards.
I think it might have been lethal if he. Right, so it would have been 2, 1, so 3. No, he would have been 1 mana off from lethal.
Not quite, but so you're so low here. You've got to just start clearing them, trying to clear Kolos' Dragon's board. And,
I think you need to take a little half measure here. You need to deal. You need to remove this 4/4, and you need to deal some damage to face. So like a Saber Spine Tiger, Rasha's, and a Primus Fist, I think is probably the best half measure here.
He's taking a much more aggressive stance, just going face with Laser Cat, and I mean the Mana Forger is kind of blocking. It is blocking the Twilight Sorcerer a little, but it doesn't block it if you can third wish it, and then that's lethal.
Yeah, I'm not sure he needed to do that, right? Because he could count enough damage in his hand that he didn't need to do all the 6 this turn.
Play.
Yeah, it was an unnecessarily risky play. Yeah. Okay.
I think you definitely needed to play a bit more defensive there and try to clear board.
Well, I mean, I think the half measure was just right? Like you can reasonably say he's not going to have just like you can count just how much damage Kolos is likely to have, and you can know that you can, unless he heals, you can finish him off on the following play with what you have in hand.
Well, that brings the score to 3-3. So the next game will be the last one, the grand finals. Tight match here.
Been really interesting, right? Seen a little changes here and there. They're running very similar decks. The Inner Oasis still stands out as being unique to Kolos. So I'm not sure Aki knows that he's as. Oh well, okay. So this might be real time. So I don't know if you want to be showing this. I
Oh
can
yeah,
talk.
I'm actually covering my screen right now on the stream.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you can still see it because of the screen share.
Okay. All right. I will just remain silent then.
Yeah. Okay. So Ake or Kolos? I think we've been watching Ake, so let's switch back to Kolos. To see how this last game of the match went for these guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's this one.
Yep. This will be the last one.
Last game of the grand finals. It's been tight here. Can Kolos come back from the losers? He did lose to Ake in the finals of the winners bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Got some very similar vet decks going up here.
Yep. For sure. I find it. I'm feeling very reassured that a lot that the top players have sort of come to the same conclusions I have with the little collaborations about things like using Blind Scorch and like Star's Fury being really important. Those sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, we've had vet mirrors like 3 times in a row in these King of the Betas already.
Yeah.
And the previous ones, they were kind of all over the place. These guys a lot more have had a lot more figured out. Like before, we were still seeing people like trying out like a Rocky Headhunter and then trying out like Wings of Paradise, which are just I think it's been figured out they're not the optimal cards to be playing.
Yeah, still very refined. Much more refined list, but still the play could use a little refinement because you still see people not playing around like Dancing Blades and Star's Fury at all the perfect times. But obviously the play has been absolutely phenomenal so far. Really good stuff from both players. They're obviously incredibly skilled and very thoughtful in their deck building and preparation. So they deserve a lot of credit for making it this far. So we see Aki go with a very, very juicy blast right off the start. Probably a little too tough to turn down when you can deal 5 face damage and remove 2 minions. I think in that case it's justified. He's probably considering where to position his general now for a potential counterblast. He's decided that having the Mana Forger get killed is the Mana Forger is less valuable than the 5/5 with blast, which I would certainly agree with because it's already gotten a lot of value for you. Aki has also moved to including a Jack's True Sight.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Cool to see.
It's certainly a good card, but like you described it very, very accurately before, that it is a little bit of a win more card.
You mean Kolos, not Ake. We're watching.
Oh, I'm
Kolos
sorry.
right
we're
now.
looking from Kolos' perspective. Excuse me. Okay.
Easy confusion.
Oh, sorry.
It's always a lot more confusing when it's a mirror. When it's not a mirror, it's a lot easier to keep in track who's who.
Yep.
But going second does mean he'll hit that 6 mana point first and that 9 mana point first.
Mm-hmm.
But not having any way to deal with the last Stream Gazer kind of hurts. He did just draw into that Siphon Energy though, so that'll help.
Yes. Yeah, he's made the read that that Kolos doesn't have the Siphon, obviously, so he's decided to get some damage out of this at times. He thinks pushing 6 face damage is more valuable than removing a 2/3, which I would have to agree with.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, going first, it's 100% justifiable, right? You can put the opponent to...
I wouldn't trade 6 health for a 2/3.
Yeah, you're going to put him to, what, 10 this turn? And and with Star's Fury and other out-of-hand damage, you're going to have you have a very reliable chance of finishing this up in a short term. Okay, so now he's going to go down to 9, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like the opening plays of that matchup a lot of times just decides it. Who gets the third's wish off, and then if your opponent doesn't have a Siphon Energy immediately, which is what happened here, you just are at a huge disadvantage just from that. It's going to be hard to come back.
Dancing Blades is certainly a good way back in, and positioning his general in a way such that Star's Fury is only going to be used for clear and not for damage is certainly a useful tactic at this point. The Mana Forger remains on the board though, so cycle cards like First Wish.
It all depends how strong the turn Ake has here.
Yeah.
How this could go. Like if you have another third Swish, like you'll be down to. You could have been down to to 4 HP this turn. But it doesn't look like he has another third Swish.
Yeah. Even so, just taking that Dancing Blades out of the play and like dropping, say, a Rejuvenator here, or even Twilight Sorcerer also very strong. Again, the Twilight Sorcerer is going to be able to reach the Kolos the Dragon's General no matter where he goes, unless he uses minions to body block here. So the positioning was good to play around Blast and to also make it relevant for the following turn, because Aki's probably looking to end this game.
Here's a scenario where Jax just isn't very useful. You're way too behind here.
Yep.
Another one just that's being decided very fast in the first like 3 or 4 turns.
Kolos, people are not exactly copying your deck, man. I wouldn't worry about that too much. And you weren't exactly the first person to play any of these variations, so obviously you've done very good to demonstrate its power in the tournament scene, but anyway.
How much damage is that? Is that lethal right there? Yep, it's lethal. The double Super Spine Cat plus First Wish.
No, I'm a little bit behind you.
Here you are. Is there like a delay in the Skype screen share? Man.
Oh, I'm on the. Oh, damn it! I'm on the tournament. All right, because I was trying to look at chat.
That's it for the grand finals. That means the win goes to Ake. Ake's our new king, the beta. No return champ for Kolos Dragon, but congratulations to Ake. So that's it for the tournament. If Ake's interested, though, we will have an interview with him still, and then that'll be it in the end of the stream. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to everyone who participated. It's always hope you had a fun time, and I'll be messaging Ake, see if we can get him in here if he wants. I could totally understand if he doesn't want to, because he's already been doing this for 10 hours. This one has been going a bit long. We got stuck behind on a couple games. Yeah, make sure to give the stream a follow if you want to see more. And yeah, this is a weekly tournament I run.